What is going on, everyone? Nostalgia95 coming at you with another Digi fan art episode. An episode in a sub-series where we take a look at some of the beautiful Digimon fan arts out there. If we don't discuss them, I'm afraid they would end up being left at the side with no one or just a few to truly enjoy and admire the talents of those who created it. I came across a beautiful Twitter account that goes by the name of Gil876452127, an account that shows various Digimon fan arts. You must go and watch it, you will not regret it. Link towards it is in the description box. We're going to stop by one specific fan art out there. It's an entire Digivolution line, like the one we did for Macaquemon, another cool fan art. Link of it is at the end of the video. This is the line, from the baby level and so forth, till the mega level, which has two variations. Unfortunately, we did not get any background story for any of these Digimon here. One of them is even missing a name, or maybe an English translation of that name. From what we can tell, when looking at the picture, the Digimon at the baby level is called Floatmon, the Digimon at the in-training level is called RedPrickmon, at the rookie level we have Heepolmon, at the champion level there is Kuromon. The ultimate level has no name or no translation. I'm not yet fluent at reading what I believe would be Chinese characters, but after the ultimate level there are two lines, an offensive and a defensive one. Abyessmon is the offensive mega level and Seraphdramon is the defensive mega level form. Now, because we have so little information about this line, no background story and even a missing name, I believe that it was a necessity to ask after your opinions in the Nostalgia95 community page. I admit that I had to laugh so hard when I saw the results. 100 likes but 11 comments, many of which were not even about the Digimon itself, mostly some of you admitting that you couldn't really say much. But it's okay, I don't blame any of you. I'm even proud that you guys admitted that you simply did not know how to add anything about this line. So I'd say there isn't much to worry because I will do my magic with the few comments out there. I hope you will enjoy it. We will start by explaining the baby level Floatmon first. That does remind me that I never discussed baby Digimon. Maybe I should do that. I just need to figure out some way to make it entertaining for all of you. There are many recurring themes when looking at Floatmon that will be passed on till it reaches its final forms. The fact that it has a bluish skin color, some parts of its body are in red, in this case it is the plume, which might also be an indication to possible flight abilities. After all, its name is Floatmon. Floating means to move or hover slowly and lightly either in the liquid or in the air. I also noticed that its little tail almost looks like the one of a baby dragon Digimon or a dinosaur Digimon. Their tails are usually naked without fur, so maybe Floatmon has or will develop a dragon's roar gene, putting it in the family of draconic Digimon or those who dwell in volcanic areas. I also see this little white circle on its forehead. Does it have some significance? Not per se. However, it might be something that will return while looking at its other forms. Now, because Floatmon is only a baby Digimon, we won't be able to say much about its personality. However, I think you can all agree with me that it does have a very suspicious look. Don't get me wrong, it does look cute, but it does already show a certain, potential for being a troublemaker. We will see how that will translate in its next form, which is named RedPrickmon. If its name is RedPrickmon, then I rest my case. Prick is a pejorative term used to refer to a despicable or contemptible individual, or in this case, the Digimon. It already tells that RedPrickmon probably has a rather troublesome personality. However, when you look at its appearance, I would say that this Digimon looks really angry and aggressive. In comparison to all other in-training level Digimon, which are quite a bunch if you look at the list, none of them really developed sharp claws the way RedPrickmon did. Sure, there is the horn of Tsunomon, but this lesser Digimon still has that, cute and innocent look. It even blushes when you pay close attention. Tsunomon is still at the peak of playfulness and has a prank-loving personality with a combat instinct that has not yet awakened. Look at RedPrickmon and it looks like it is ready to do you bad. I believe that this is the most aggressive look an in-training Digimon ever had. We still see the same themes coming back from Floatmon, meaning the bluish skin color, the symbol on the forehead. The plume did vanish, and I believe it was divided in either many red plumes around its forehead, or at the worst, these are not plumes but horns. There is no dinosaur tail visible anymore, however, we do see fur, hinting that it probably belongs to the nature spirits family. Members of this field are usually generic animal or monster-like Digimon, or those who dwell in desert-like areas. This would mean that it already shows the beast-like potential and dinosaur-like potential. We'll see how it will further develop. When I look at its claws, I am reminded to that one video I made where I explained in details what Haglung Ore, Crown Digizoid and Chrome Digizoid are all about. These are all Digimon metals with multiple uses. You can find the link towards the video in the description box. Do you see the red claws RedPrickmon developed? In a way, they remind me of Crackmon Vicious Mode's Cursed Claws made of Red Digizoid, a re-purified alloy of Chrome Digizoid that has been increased in hardness so that it provides phenomenal defensive power to its users. It is close to impossible to break Crackmon's claws as they've been hardened, and because I see RedPrickmon with red colored claws, which will always come back in its future forms, I'd say that they are probably made out of Red Digizoid, making the Digimon way too dangerous to be put next to other in-training Digimon, because it is physically already way too dangerous, and there's also the personality and now the claws. Truly a menacing Digimon. Its next form is called Heepolmon. I would say that it looks to be of the wolf type, a little bit like the Kuromon species. I tried figuring out its name to maybe understand a bit more about its potential personality, and I'd say that it was quite the challenge. And truth is that I'm not even sure if my research proves right. So Heepolmon appears to be the name, which can be divided in heap and po, which I think would mean pone. Heap means a collection of things thrown one on another. In a sentence it could sound like the following: a heap of cardboard boxes. Or heap can also mean a large amount or number of. For example, you could say the following: we have heaps of room, meaning we have lots of room. Now a pawn can be a chess piece of the smallest size and value. When we say that someone is a pawn, then that means that that person is being used by others for their own purposes. Or it can be a pawn like when you look underneath the foot of a dog or a wolf. That's also a pawn. Aside of the pawn in its name, I can't exactly say much about Heepawmon based on these concepts, aside maybe that it is a canine type of Digimon. These usually always have pawns. Some of you even compared it to Kuromon, which I can certainly understand. There are many reasons why I enjoy Heepawmon a lot. You see, this Digimon, in appearance, just like its in training form, appear to be way too developed for the level they're at. I mean, it does have big, sharp and well-developed claws, which I presume are from Red Digizoid. It looks more like a beast, which I believe is based on the nature spirits gene. Its jacket makes it look tough. And by the way, the jacket will also become a theme that will come back in its future forms. I will point you to it. So in a sense, it really looks more developed than its peers. It is very interesting because that's what you're also going to keep on seeing in its next forms. But overall, a very tough appearance for a Digimon that is only at the rookie level. And its next form, Kuromon, is one that gets even more interesting because suddenly it really becomes a sort of hybrid between the canine/wolf-like Digimon, probably because of the nature spirits genes, and it also gets a more draconic look, which I said could be based on the dragon's roar genes. Take a look at its face. Back when it was a Heepolmon, it looked more like a wolf, but now as a Kuromon, its face looks almost like that of a dragon. It certainly has the horns of a dragon. The wings, I can't exactly say that they look very draconic, but almost devilish. I'd say that it might also have Nightmare Soldier's genes lingering in its DNA. Members of this field are generally demonic or undead Digimon, or those who dwell in haunted areas. It might also explain why it always has that evil look. When we further analyze its appearance, it still has the jacket it wore as a Heepolmon, except that it is a bit damaged. It still has a symbol on the forehead, although it doesn't look like a circle anymore. Gerardo Linares made an interesting comparison, claiming that Kuromon looks like a Were-Garurumon, which is certainly right. It looks like it was indeed inspired by Were-Garurumon, to say the least, from the belts and jeans to the fighter's appearance, and just like Were-Garurumon, it also looks like this hybrid monster. Were-Garurumon is based on the werewolf, which is a mixture of a human and a wolf. Kuromon looks like a mixture of a dragon, a wolf and a human. The biggest difference between the two is that Kuromon is at the mere champion level in comparison to Were-Garurumon, who is at the ultimate level already. Which sort of confirms what I've been telling so far. This line are special in a sense that they don't look to be at the right level. Marine Solar wrote the following: I love it. Also, I like the human Were Digimon and the beast branching Digivolution. I like dragons and I like wolves, and this Digimon is way better than Dorumon in being a furry dragon. And I haven't forgotten your requests, Marine. I do know that you love Were type Digimon, but I like how you say that you like dragons and wolves, because that's what Kuromon is showing. It is showing a mixture of dragon features and wolf features. Now let us take a look at its ultimate form. Unfortunately, it did not get a name, or the name was simply not translated, but in a way, it looks as if it belongs to the Mega level. I love the appearance. I love how the jacket suddenly became a trench coat. I love the aggressive draconic look it has. Heck, its tail isn't even furry anymore. It really is a dragon's tail that we see here. The sword is a wonderful addition as it is fitting, while still remaining truthful to the core themes. And again, with the red at the edge of the sword, I wouldn't be surprised if it were Red Digizoid. Truly an aggressive and offensive Digimon by the looks. We don't know if it has projectiles, but we do know it probably is powerful up close. Heck, it has brass knuckles, and with the wings it has, wings that looks to be able to make it fly at high speed, it would mean that it probably has an aerial advantage. So, in appearance, I have to say once more that it already looks like a Mega level Digimon while still being an ultimate. When I put it next to Were-Garurumon, you can clearly see the differences. It looks to have more up its sleeves than Were-Garurumon, don't you think? Now, what's more interesting about this Digimon is that it has two Digivolution, a defensive and an offensive one. I don't know what would trigger either of the forms, because I can't really see this Digimon being defensive in its fights, unless it is to protect others. Its defensive line finishes with Seraphdramon, which I believe is a very interesting name. The Dra at the end of the name is a reference to Dramon, meaning that Seraphdramon is part of the Dramon species. They are descendants of Drakomon, an ancient, pure-blooded dragon Digimon who I explained in the Explaining Drakomon video. Seraphdramon confirms my theory that there is some dragon's raw data in its Digicore, as it ultimately did become a dragon that does not look like your typical dragon at all. Now, there is also the Seraph in its name, and normally Seraph should be a reference to the Seraphim, the highest ranked angel in Christian angelology. We would normally be talking about Seraphimon in this case, right? But now we have Seraphdramon. I'd say that the only thing both Seraphdramon has in common with Seraphimon is nothing. Normally a Seraphim angel has 6 wings, Seraphimon has 10 wings, and Seraphdramon doesn't even have wings, but has 6 hands made out of his jacket. Oh, and it also has 6 legs. Those 6 legs even remind me of Dinobemon, who has 2 legs and 4 arms, 2 of Xvmon and 2 of Stingmon. Maybe it is a potential hint to some Jungle Troopers genes, right? Ethan Smith wrote the following: whenever I look at the Defense Mega, I think of Gaogamon. Absolutely. How could you not? Both have this big fur around the head, and both Seraphdramon and Gaogamon have these clothing that can be used as arms that move independently, I would say, or maybe at will. Gaogamon has 2 red ribbons and Seraphdramon has 6 of it thanks to its jacket. Now, how would Seraphdramon use it? I wish I knew. Too bad we got nothing. Reason why I love Seraphdраmon's appearance is because it is quite confusing. It's difficult to make sense of it. It almost looks like some sort of abomination. Aside of the horns, it really doesn't look like your typical dragon. Heck, it has 6 legs after all, even though there are many media depictions that show dragons with more than 4 legs to stand on. While it does look quite aggressive in appearance, it is still part of the defensive line. So it's difficult to figure out how the defensive aspect would look like. However, when we take a look at its offensive line, then boy oh boy, we're talking about a Digimon that looks to have come straight out of hell. From looking at its horns, the new brass knuckles that are too pointy, the muscles, the scars, the intimidating appearance. Heck, when you look at the arms on its back, it looks like it was imprisoned and found its way out because it has cuffs on its wrists. This, my good friends, is a Digimon called Abyessmon. I'd say that it probably is a reference to the Abyss, the regions of hell conceived of as a bottomless pit. This might confirm my first suspicions that it probably has some Nightmare Soldiers genes inside of it. Just the horns and the intimidating appearance, and look at its face. Its face is covered by this almost insect-like shell with markings that looks like those of either a Kuwagamon or even Gesomon. I can certainly see Abyessmon play an important role in the dark area, maybe as the Nightmare Soldiers muscle, or just as a standalone Digimon that many wouldn't want to come across. I mean, just look at it. Its purple color is the same as the purple you see in the dark area, so to me, Abyessmon really belongs to that area, and I'm so curious to, I don't know, see some background story revolving around it in the dark area. I'm sure it's going to be such a blast. I will finish the video by replying to 2 last comments. Big CDO14 wrote the following: I find it interesting that it starts off as a beast Digimon, and as it digivolves, it takes on more characteristics of a dragon Digimon. This could be due to a mutation in its data causing this change to occur. Absolutely. Again, we did not get any type of background story, so we can only speculate. But if we have to explain how it changed so much, then I'd say that it indeed had to be some type of mutation. A type of mutation which might have happened back when it was a rookie and even baby, now that I think of it. Remember that I said that it began with a dinosaur tail as a Floatmon, only to become hairy and wolf-like when it became RedPrickmon and Heepolmon. It's only once it goes to the champion level, meaning Kuromon, that you see how these wolf-like characteristics begin to fade little by little. When you see its ultimate level, there is basically nothing left of the wolf-like characteristics. So a mutation is certainly not out of the order. I think it's very plausible and would make lots of sense. What are your opinions? Let me know in the comment section. Last comment. Andres Marrero gave us a possible background story for this Digimon. He says the following: from the aesthetics, I would imagine this Digimon to live in some city, possibly run down, slightly abandoned, and or criminally infested in the middle of a wasteland. With a trench coat and the goggles, this Digimon would commonly ride a bike, or the area is prone to sandstorms and dust storms quite often, which reinforces the sense that this Digimon lives in some settlement within a wasteland. The rookie could be a slightly vicious orphan career, working for some of the criminal families that runs this abandoned wasteland city. Through the champion and ultimate stages, this Digimon raises through the ranks and becomes a well-known career due to its reliability. Perhaps the family it works for, or is most associated with, is run by a Abyessmon or a Starmon, and it even had the honor of receiving driving tips from them or delivering personal messages from them. Then, with the Mega Stage, it either takes over the family or starts its own, becoming a Yakuza head. Or it disappears into the ever-turbulent wasteland to protect someone or something, perhaps a little girl or some device, adopting a more bestial form to better withstand the harsh conditions and protect whatever is in its charge. The strangest part of this line is the energy wings present in the ultimate form, which remains in an altered and diminished form in the offensive Mega Stage, which also has its face covered for some reason. Both Megas also have 6 limbs. First of all, I like the stories. When considering the jackets, it might give the impression that they were first subservient to someone. Abyessmon maybe, or Starmon, which is the female version of Abyessmon. It makes total sense what you wrote. If necessary, we could even add some other Digimon as well to fill the leader role in the gang. Once the trench coat disappears, it might be a sign that tells that it went its own way. Very nicely thought. Guys, make sure to share your opinions in the comment section, and Andres, let me tell you that it is quite dangerous to use the word Yakuza in one of your comments, because I'm a person who has read so much about the Yakuza and gangs in general. Heck, I am playing the Yakuza games. I could talk hours and hours of this subject simply because I am so passionate about it, but anyway, it's a good comment. Thank you. Hey guys, this is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I love these Digimon fan arts. Just a little bit of a bummer that they don't always get a background story. It's such a bummer because when you look at the appearances, they look as if they already belonged to the Digimon universe. They look canon, just like Macaquemon, who also looked really canon. This reminds me, there is a comment that made me intrigued. I almost forgot to show it. Xbot02 wrote the following: "Damn, that looks awesome. Gotta find someone to design the Digimon ideas I've had floating around in my head." Yeah guys, please make sure to share your fan arts, and if you don't have fan arts yourself, try to link me to some other fan arts that you believe would be interesting to see discussed. Alright? Share your opinions about the Abyessmon line in the comment section, and know that all the Digimon fan arts videos are placed in a specific and always updated playlist that will make it easier for you to catch up on newer and older videos. And if you're new, please make sure to subscribe, and to all of you, like the video please and drop comments. Okay? There is more to come.